Last week, Lamine Yamal did it again. An outrageous goal, a nasty assist, and yet another record to his name. At 17 years and 241 days old, Lamine looks exactly like what he is, a teenager. Braces on his teeth, exams to finish, and a boyish grin that reminds you he's still in high school. But the moment a ball's at his feet, all of that disappears. Because for a kid who can't even legally drink yet, Yamal is out here cooking defenders like he's been playing at this level for a decade. If you've been paying attention, you've seen this coming for a while now. But if you haven't, well, let's catch you up. Because this kid might just be on his way to becoming the best player in the world faster than we even thought. For nearly 2 years now, Lamine's main hobby has been rewriting all of our sports record books. In April 2023, at just 15 years old, he became Barcelona's youngest debutant ever. While most of us were still trying to figure out how to talk to girls, this guy was already playing professional football at the Camp Nou. By the time the 2023-2024 season began, Yamal was hitting milestones at such a ridiculous pace that you almost needed a spreadsheet to keep track. At 16 years and 38 days, he became the youngest player to start a La Liga game in the 21st century. A week later, he became the youngest player to provide a La Liga assist. Then the youngest debutant and goal scorer for Spain. The youngest player to start a Champions League match. The youngest player to score in La Liga. The youngest player to play in El Clásico. And if that wasn't enough, at the 2024 Euros, he became the youngest player to score, the youngest to assist, and the youngest to win the entire tournament. By this point, you'd be forgiven for thinking he was just stat padding. I mean, not even Messi or Ronaldo came close to this level at 17 years old. Leo had barely scored one professional goal by the time he was Lamine's age, and Ronaldo had netted just 5. Yamal, on the other hand, has already bagged 19 goals, 24 assists, and has nearly 100 appearances for club and country. Of course, there are some exceptions. At 17, Kylian Mbappe was already producing outrageous numbers, with 28 goals and 16 assists, and was lighting up League One with Monaco. And way back in 1958, a 17-year-old Pelé was dominating World Cup finals and scoring a brace to help Brazil win their first ever title. But that's exactly what makes Lamine's numbers so remarkable. Because when the only teenagers in football history who've matched your production are Kylian Mbappe and Pelé, you're not just promising, you're generational. And here's the scariest part. At his current 17-year-old level, Lamine Yamal is already in the conversation for best right winger in the world. That might sound like a bit of a stretch, especially considering the steep competition from established stars like Salah, Rodrigo, or Dembélé. But his Barcelona teammate Robert Lewandowski doesn't seem to think so at all, which is exactly why he went as far as calling him the best winger in football just a few months ago. And the numbers back it up. This season, Yamal has completed a total of 88 successful dribbles in La Liga, the most of any other player in the competition. Not Mbappe, not Nico Williams, not even Vinicius. His insanely efficient 70.6% dribble success rate is also the highest in Europe's top 5 leagues among players with 50 plus attempts. But what's truly remarkable is how he does it. Yamal isn't blowing past defenders with raw speed. It's his body control that makes him so elusive. His ability to shift his weight, dip his shoulders, and throw in sharp feints feels less like football and more like a game of speed tag. It's almost reminiscent of a certain Neymar Jr., taking out his opponents on a dance and using their own momentum against them to create space. And yet, for all the flair, Yamal's game is remarkably calculated. He rarely forces the spectacular. Instead, he picks his moments with surgical precision. Every movement feels deliberate, designed to generate and exploit gaps in the defense, which is why he also leads La Liga's wingers in key playmaking metrics like vertical support, passing under pressure, and exploiting defensive imbalances. Numbers that highlight how intelligent his game already is. Lamine also leads the league in crosses into the box while ranking amongst the best at finding pockets of space to receive and finish, a rare combination of creativity and composure in the final third. His heat maps reveal a player who can cut inside, drive to the byline, or even drift centrally to pick out a pass, constantly keeping defenders guessing. It's that mix of grace, control, and vision that make him so special. As Xavi himself put it, he almost always makes the right decision, and that's the hardest thing in football. A 17-year-old that's already this polished, it's no wonder Barcelona are building their entire right flank around him. Hansi Flick's new system, which relies heavily on Yamal's ability to generate space and attack, has completely transformed Barca's play this season. Since arriving last summer, Flick has blended the Catalans' classic possession-based game with sharper vertical play and a far more aggressive press, swarming opponents and winning the ball back early. Offensively, Flick has also given Yamal the freedom to drift inside, while Koundé's disciplined defensive coverage of the right wing allows Lamine to preserve his energy for attack. And the results speak for themselves. Since Flick's arrival, Barcelona have scored over 100 goals in just 35 games, nearly matching their entire total from the season before, and we're barely halfway through March. But beyond the numbers, Barcelona's performances have felt different, more ruthless, more confident, and far more dangerous. They've already beaten Real Madrid twice, including a dominant 5-2 victory in the Spanish Super Cup final. And in Europe, they dismantled Bayern Munich 4-1, a statement win that underlines their return to the elite. They have surged back into the title race, climbed to the top of La Liga, and are now legitimate contenders for the Champions League and Copa del Rey. If they can keep this momentum going, they could be on track to win their first treble since the iconic MSN did it exactly 10 years ago. But the most exciting part for Lamine is that there's still a terrifying amount of room for growth. Physically, he's yet to reach his full potential. He can still get stronger, faster, and more explosive. And when that happens, he'll become an even greater nightmare for defenders than he already is. All that potential does come with a bit of risk. Barcelona have leaned on him heavily this season, and by this point, he's already played over 3,000 minutes. That kind of workload can be dangerous for a teenager that's still physically developing. And for someone with Yamal's skill set, one bad injury could change everything. But if Barcelona manage him well, the sky's the limit. Because what we're witnessing right now isn't just a promising talent, it's the early chapters of what could easily become one of football's all-time great careers. So now, the question is yours. How far do you think Lamine Yamal can go? Drop your predictions in the comments below, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this.